Hello, dear friends. The important thing is not the temporary crisis we are suffering, but the art of riding it without affecting you too much, and also taking advantage of it to enhance your natural faculties. It is about riding the wave of Zubuya, as Jose Argüelles used to say. Opinion piece. Calm in the storm. Serenity in the crisis. In search of the absolute. The pillars of happiness. All crises are transitory. All that exists is impermanent. Detachment is the key to happiness. Everything is part of an ordeal. Happiness is something that concerns everyone. Seek the one that has no beginning and no end. Being kind to oneself makes you compassionate. Teachings of Khedrupchen Rinpoche of Bhutan. Practice detachment because everything is impermanent. Happiness is the result of cultivating oneself. Loving kindness is the key to generate happiness. Our soul is restless until it rests in the self. Reaches enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. Kindness, compassion, detachment, and karma are the four pillars. A bird perched on a tree never fears the branch will break. If you don't prepare yourself to ride the wave of change, it will pass over you. The Turing Test puts your ability to discover the truth to the test. Company offers money to anyone who uncovers Simpson's prophecies. Ufos spotted flying in military formation over Texas, creating a stir. Let's start. Can you be happy watching others suffer? This is another $1 million question, and the answer is yes. It's not easy, but it can and should be if we are able to detach ourselves from our own and others' suffering, without ceasing to help others in whatever way we can, and each one fulfills his or her life mission or sacred dharma for which he or she came to this world. We cannot help anyone from suffering but from serenity. Detachment is the key to happiness because everything that exists is ephemeral and impermanent, both the bad and the good. Believe in yourself. A bird perched on a tree never fears that the branch will break, because its confidence is not in the branch, but in his own wings. Always believe in yourself. The phrases they have used to keep you from waking up and connecting with your true self are Antichrist and blasphemy. Every time someone says they are I am, they are quick to label that individual as an Antichrist because they are afraid of their own power, their true identity. They know that I am is DNA restored, and they don't want you to regain your natural power. I am God is the only thing that calms the storm. Riding the Zubuya wave. Riding the wave of Zubuya is the title of one of Jose Argüelles' best books. I talked about higher consciousness. He talked about higher consciousness, about getting in touch with a higher self in other dimensions. But how can we experience this? Zubuya is the Mayan term for the great memory circuit, the direct channel of memory. It connects us to both the future and the past, because it is an interdimensional line. Zubuya is the force that drives synchronicity and, consequently, the source from which magic springs. The wave of the Bulla takes us on a magical journey with José Argüelles, his four-dimensional light body, whose name is Uncle Joe Subuya. From the center of the Earth's journey to the most distant of the galaxy, this journey from the fourth dimension will connect us with a very important part of our own being, our magical self, whose existence some people forgot long ago. The Subuya is that wave, and to ride it is to be on the dynamic crest, the fifth sun. That means that in this last 26,000 years are divided into 5 suns of 5 eras, and the world and 5 eras of the world, each a little less than 5,200 years. That means we are ending a 26,000 year zodiacal precession cycle. If you don't prepare to ride the wave of change, it will pass over you. We spend our lives to try to keep those happy moments from passing and to keep their happy moments from coming back. We are unnecessarily fighting against reality. The mind creates problems that don't exist. Harmonic Convergence. José Argüelles was an American artist and a spiritual author. He was a founder of Planet Art Network and the Law of Time Foundation. He earned a doctorate in art history and aesthetics from the University of Chicago, and taught at several universities including Princeton, California Davis, or the San Francisco Art Institute. He is known for his role in the organization of the movement called Harmonic Convergence. He developed and promoted in 1989 the concept of the law of time, based on his interpretation of how the mathematics of the Mayan calendar work. He achieved notoriety for his role in the Harmonic Convergence movement, and his book on the mysticism of the Mayan calendar, entitled The Mayan Factor. After his financial success, he published with his wife The Dream Spells, Earth's Journey in 2013. President of the Foundation for the Law of Time, created in 2000, he proposes the use of the 28-day 30-moon calendar as an instrument to harmonize human beings with the biosphere. In search of the absolute, search for the one that has no beginning and no end, called I am what I am. The Pope, the Emperor of Japan, Napoleon, the Caesars, and the Pharaohs all had a beginning and an end. If you could back in time, visit the Pharaoh of Egypt, who endured the 10 plagues. Did his gods prevail? Even Satan had a beginning and a bad end when he confronted Archangel Michael. Our soul is restless until it rests in God. Let no one convince you that a human being has no soul, unless he has voluntarily disconnected it through evil acts and has become soulless. This is the lie of the waked one, who wishes to possess our soul for eternity. Within our soul is the connection to God. Through free will, we have the ability to tarnish this image or make it radiant. To make it radiant requires inner work and divine grace. No matter how hard one tries, there comes a time when the mystic becomes a beggar, of his own divine self to go beyond. The pillars of happiness. What are the pillars of happiness? Told by the fifth reincarnation of a Bhutanese spiritual master, according to Stephanie Zubiri of BBC Travel. In 2009, Khedrupchen Rinpoche became Bhutan's youngest spiritual master. In quotes, happiness is something everyone is concerned about, noted Rinpoche. Whether you recognize it or not, this is the purpose of every human being. Rinpoche has given much thought to the pursuit of happiness. The monk is recognized as the fifth reincarnation of a spiritual master and is currently head of the Sanchen Ogyen Trungklak monastery in Trongsa, Bhutan. He ascended to his position at the age of 19 in 2009 and was the youngest spiritual master in Bhutan at the time. Now 31 years old, he has dedicated the last 12 years of his life to teaching the world Buddhist principles and how they can be applied to make life happier on a daily basis, regardless of one's culture or religion. Definition. Rinpoche, which means in Tibetan the one of great value, is an honorific title used in Tibetan Buddhism, a way of showing respect and addressing those recognized as tulkus, that is, the reincarnation of an important teacher. It is used after the teacher's name. It is distinguished from lama, another epithet used as a form of respect that is equivalent to master. Although the word Rinpoche is plain, it has often been said as Rinpoche. According to Tibetan Buddhism, tulkus make the decision to be intentionally reborn in the samsara to benefit other sentient beings on their path to enlightenment or dharma. Occasionally, this title is also dedicated to masters who did not initially recognize themselves as reincarnate lama when young, but who later presented extraordinary qualities in their experience. Tibetans alternatively called the Dalai Lama Gyalwa Rinpoche, referring to his denomination of Gyatso, meaning ocean. In Tibet and Bhutan, the master Padmasambhava is called Guru Rinpoche or Lopon Rinpoche, who was the first to bring Buddhism to the Himalayas. When used as Ye Rinpoche, it refers to Lama Tsongkhapa, the founder of the Gelugpa order. Meditated in a cave. In quotes, I went to the mountains and lived there with very little food in adverse weather conditions, with no shelter other than a cave. This gave me the time to absorb more deeply what I taught myself. What became very clear was that true happiness has nothing to do with external phenomena. It's something within. Rinpoche frequently visits his personal meditation cave in the wooded hills behind Sanchen Ogyen Trungklak Sanchen Monastery in Trongsa. The monk stressed that it is not necessary to go to such extremes to find peace. In quotes, we should stop looking for happiness in experiences external to ourselves. There are, in my opinion, 4 pillars: godness or loving kindness, compassion, detachment, and karma, which can be easily accepted by anyone at any time in their life, from anywhere. It's no use wanting things to be as they were before, because the earth does not stop or go backwards. According to Rinpoche, loving kindness is the key to generating happiness not only on a personal level, but also for others. The monk emphasized the importance of being kind to oneself first, and how this leads to compassion for others. You have to love yourself and really know that no matter what your circumstances are, you are good enough, you are enough. From there, you can pass to compassion on to others. Rinpoche's third pillar, detachment or impermanence, is a Buddhist concept at the root of Bhutanese culture. When something goes wrong, don't get depressed immediately, because things will change. Rinpoche said, if we accept that all things are impermanent, then that means there can be change, and with change there is hope. Karma is not what it seems. According to Rinpoche, the fourth pillar, karma, is not what it seems. Karma is totally misunderstood. Most people think it means that if you do something bad will happen to you, as a form of universal revenge or punishment. It's not that at all. It's about causes, conditions, and accepting that your actions and choices have an impact on the world around you. It's like planting the seed of a tree, Rinpoche said. If we plant the seed of a mango tree, we will get a mango tree. We can't plant an apple tree seed and expect a mango tree to grow, he added, smiling. Believing in karma is an opportunity for you to transform yourself, to shape yourself, to really work on who you want to become and do what you want to achieve. To find happiness, we must accept that our actions have an impact on those around us, Rinpoche said. Always remember that the most important thing is to live life in the present moment, and that happiness is not a byproduct of external factors, but the result of positively conditioning your own mind. Happiness is within everyone's reach. Turing Test. Test your ability to discover the truth. A psychological exercise called the Ideological Turing Test helps people explore their ability to critically analyze news, ideas, and beliefs. If someone can't tell the difference between the answers of a computer and a human being, the computer passes the test. Now, the Ideological Turing Test is similar but slightly different. This time, instead of a computer impersonating a human being, you must be able to explain the opposite position of an argument as well as your opponents would. That is, as if you believe it yourself. If you can do it convincingly, you have passed the test. Basically, this would mean that you know how to listen to others and truly understand other people's perspective on an argument. Since it was created by Turing at the University of Manchester in 1950, the test has proven to be both highly influential and widely criticized, as well as becoming an important concept in the philosophy of artificial intelligence. The Turing Test is an examination of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior similar to or indistinguishable from that of a human being. Alan Turing proposed that a human would evaluate natural language conversation between a human and a machine, designed to generate human-like responses. The machine would have passed the test if the event that the evaluator could not distinguish between the human and the machine accurately. Turing originally suggested that the machine should combines an evaluator after 5 minutes of conversation 70% of the time. This test does not evaluate the machine's knowledge in terms of its ability to answer questions correctly, only the machine's ability to generate answers similar to those that a human would give. Simpson's prophecies. A company is offering almost €6,000 to anyone who watches every episode of The Simpsons and finds its prophecies. An online casino is looking for someone to watch every episode of The Simpsons and the movie to try to help the casino predict the future, paying them around €5,600. The Simpsons series, an analyst will be paid to note down the highlights of the show to help us predict the likelihood of each one happening. There are over 700 episodes of The Simpsons, which equates to over 2,080 hours of show to sit through. To avoid doing it all at once, the lucky applicant has to watch just 35.5 hours a week of The Simpsons over the 8-week duration of the job to take it all in. This equates to approximately €20 per hour and €8 per episode. The analyst will also receive €88 per week for expenses, as well as weekly donut delivery. All the applicant will have to do is take notes on each episode of the featured stories and report them to the casino's forecasting team, who will then compile the events into a list of future predictions and give probabilities of them happening. The only requirements for the applicant are that you must be over 18 years old, fluent in English, and have access to the internet. Ufos over Texas. Ufos sighted flying in military formation over Texas. Ufos flying in military formation over Texas could be proof of an alien base under the desert, says one blogger. Several social media users do not believe the UFO explanation and suggested that the flying lights could have been drones. However, another sighting has been reported that may or may not be related to UFOs in the skies over Texas. A video shared on YouTube by blogger Scott C. Waring shows that what looks like a group of lights moving information across the night sky, and the video description indicates that this scene took place in Austin on October 6th. The UFOs fly in military formation and were seen 30 miles away by other witnesses. Waring stated on his blog, "This is 100% proof that an alien base is somewhere below the desert." He also reflected that UFOs have been sighted most frequently in areas of Nevada, Arizona, and Needles, California, as well as Texas, and that all of these areas have a similarly dry desert appearance. Several social media users who commented on the YouTube video have questioned the extraterrestrial angle, suggesting instead that these flying lights could have been drones, despite indication to the contrary from the witness comment in the video description. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.